Happy New Year. This is Shorty's Year in Review. Racism don't work without black cooperation. Remember that. Our elected officials is protecting white supremacy. For 40 years, I've been a slave to mass incarceration. N62528. This is my story. Like D. Watkins says, can't nobody tell your story better than you. In 2006, y'all made the Stop Snitching video. In 2006, I started making letters to Zion because I got tired of y'all locking up black America. Yeah, I free a lot more if you knew you were slaves. Social media for social change. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. So let's start the story. 2026. That's Vanessa Attenberry from the delegates, and she's holding my evidence. That's the American Visionary Arts Museum. Yeah, we going back and forth on this one. That's my link card from Chicago, my asbestos. That's me documenting what I was doing. That's Michelle Alexander, the new face of old Jim Crow. She wrote the book, I made the movie. And I used the toilet to do it. Shorty's Bootleg Barbecue. To be the best, you got to beat the best. Social media for social change. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Everything I did is on social media. All we got to do is go to the grand jury. Documentaries about our representatives and how they represent us. You stood up for Tennessee, but you ain't opened your mouth about me. Maryland Arts Day 2024. We did 2024, 2025. This is going to be 2026. We getting ready to do it again. We're going to be talking shit with Shorty. We're going to toss it up. Happy New Year. And this is where it all started at. White supremacy in Baltimore and Lake County courts. A Netflix submission. Yeah, I made this all for Netflix. Hulu, whoever want to buy it. It's worth $250 million in intellectual property theft. That was what I charged the state of Maryland. We're going to see how much this sell for. This is a book and a movie. All right. Malcolm Ruff. Like I said, racism don't work without black cooperation. A book and a movie. That's Martin Luther King. I applied for Martin Luther King's job because we ain't got no more Martins. We ain't got no more Martins. And like I said, we're going to finish this where we started this. November 2006. Get Shorty. All right. Get Shorty. And you got Shorty. It's all right here. I gave you the Minority Report. In regards to your documentary, I would not be able to appear. That's Senator Ben Cardin's. That's Senator Barbara Mikulski in the 113th Congress. We're going to say goodnight to racism and hello to freedom. All right. That's Vanessa and her toilet. That's Governor Westmore, Maryland Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. You feel me? 20 years already. That's July 2005. That's Governor O'Malley. And that's my store on Falls Road. You feel me? Jake signed movie releases and Jake forged checks. So y'all got to have that federal investigation. 2026 session, exoneration of the Supreme Court, a federal and a state audit. We're going to end this where we started at that store. I use a toilet because the toilet don't care if you black, white, straight, or gay. Toilet take your shit every day. It's a time to pee. Public Accommodations Act, the right to use the bathroom. I just use it in a different kind of way. I use it artistically. We will confront racism to create a more inclusive world. We stand in solidarity with our black partners, customers, and communities. We will not be bystanders. That's Starbucks and S.H.O.R.T.Y. That's Governor Ehrlich and S.H.O.R.T.Y. And those was my sons in Washington, D.C. with the toilet. I made them carry the toilet. You feel me? It's the time to pee. Y'all made me famous for toilets, so I put it in a book, a children's book. That's Ronald Reagan and Larry Hogan. And that's the Board of Elections. And that's President Trump. We talking about voter suppression in the 2014 elections, suppressing the black vote, suppressing the votes, period, by the Republican Party. I was taken off the ballot. And everything Jared Jimenez got, you're going to have to turn over. We have a federal investigation. Governor Hogan, President Trump, a postal inspector general. And everything Speaker Pena got, you're going to have to turn over too, because I'm sending this. We're going to start this. We're going to end this where we started at, in a court of law and the Postal Service. You can come here. Everything I've been doing since I started this is on DVD, and y'all got this. I'm selling tickets. That's the tickets. And that's the tickets. That's Kaylin Young. That's Kaylin Young. That's Vanessa. That's Governor Westmore. And that's me and Devin Allen. All right? Maryland Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. Potty training politicians. Like I said, it's the power of the toilet. That's Mayor Brandon Scott, Commissioner Worley, and Commissioner Harris.
Have you ever met my cousin? He's the skid mark in your underwear.
That's the director of the Maryland Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. We're going to spin the table because we're talking about the money behind mass incarceration. You feel me? And I got tickets. You feel me? I got tickets. They ain't wolf tickets. This is my family, and all 10 of us are still alive. All 10 of us signed a movie release. My sister Teresa and my sister Rosie signed a letter for Congressman Cummings to have an investigation. My brother William is the postal inspector. The Secret Service called him on numerous occasions. You've been harassing my family. I didn't get to go to my mother's funeral. She died from cancer on February the 2nd. Scott Schellenberger locked me up, charged me with terrorism. Activism ain't terrorism. This ain't my fight, this is our struggle. I'm fighting for my family, yours, mine, and ours. Like they said, I'd free a lot more if you knew you were slaves. Freedom is almost perfected, just a few more laws, regulations, and cages. I went home on vacation and came back on probation. See that? So we came full circle. That's Marilyn Mosby. That's a movie release. That's my lawyer, John Bailey, Karen Levy. And that's the case I never got a trial for. That's Governor Hogan. And these people signed a movie release too. It's being black in America. Do blacks have rights in which white America respects? This is the Davis family. You feel me? The sons and daughters of Corine and Joseph Davis. I was making a movie, Letters Design, and it's covered under the First Amendment of the Constitution. I went from Baltimore's worst to Baltimore's best, and I used art to do it. You feel me? From Baltimore's worst to Baltimore's best. You see the big picture here? The state took 13 storyboards, they took contracts, they took movie releases, they took money from me. I'm out $250 million for making a movie about mass incarceration. This is to prove I was making a movie. That's the toilet in Towson. That's Scott Schellenberger. All right? That's the toilet in Towson. That's Scott Schellenberger. Art and activism, the art of protest. That toilet in Towson was about your prison industry, mass incarceration, and the money you make. That's Chief Hyatt and the state prosecutor. See the date? They had this too. That's the Baltimore Brew. We talk about FCC violations. That was about the school to prison pipeline. Y'all closing schools? Well, you need to close some of these other offices. School is going to be open, and we'll find the money to get it with that $250 million lawsuit. Then we're going to do a class action lawsuit because you did it to a class of people. I'm not looking for reparations. I'm going to file a class action lawsuit because you did it to a class of people. And President Trump got all this. It's an email. See the date? 2019. See that? Tim Tennyson, Pam Woods, Teresa Davis, you feel me? Kiefer Mitchell, TJ Smith. And Ryan Dorsey's my main witness. Because when I mailed this to Donald Trump, Ryan Dorsey was there. Ryan Dorsey used to come to my store. Yeah, ask him about me. Ask Ryan Dorsey how long he been knowing about me. Making a movie about our politics and our politicians. And I use my lunch counter in the toilet. Yeah, the star of the show. We back where we started at. All right, white supremacy in Baltimore and Lake County courts, a Netflix submission. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. Facebook got everything I'd been doing on Facebook. Google, Bing me, I ain't hard to find. But we're gonna finish what we started. You can't stop me from making a movie. Ivan Bates made his movie. Brandon Scott made his movie. Yeah, it's called The Vanity of the Kings. The Vanity of the Kings, a Netflix submission.